Hiya and welcome back to the third part or third video in our Polytunnel series. The Polytunnel's built, that's video number 1. The raised beds are in, that's video number 2. And this third video will focus on the irrigation system. So of course the one thing about a polytunnel is it's a relatively closed system, and all the sunlight comes in, the rain doesn't. So every drop of water that you give your plants to keep them going has to be administered. So that can either be done by a watering can, or in our case we've chosen to go for an irrigation system. We've got a water butt here, which I'm going to link up to some other containers, and I'll show you those in a moment. We're going to have a solar and battery powered water pump, which is going to sit hopefully around here somewhere, and then that will feed hose up and down each of these lengths of the beds. It's the seep hose stuff that you pump the water through and it slowly drips water out through the full length, and that's according to at least the literature that comes with the pump. The more sunshine you get, the more water that the plants will receive. So hopefully it's proportional to the amount of water that they need, and then you can fine tune that up or down. It's a little bit complicated in terms of all the hose and the pipes that we're going to have to connect together. Hopefully we can get it to work. So if I just take you through here in a little bit more detail. We've got the water butt here. Obviously this isn't going to fill itself. It's not connected to any downpipe off a roof like you would normally have. The idea is there's going to be a water pipe coming out the bottom of that, and then out here. And then if you come with me, roving camera person, obviously haven't got very far yet, but we are digging a channel which disappears underneath the solar panels. And if you come with me a second, I'll show you what's behind there. So back here behind the solar panels, at the other end of the channel here, we've got these industrial containers, IBCs I think they're called. They're basically just liquid containers. You can buy these off the internet. We managed to pick these ones up second hand, so they need a rinse out. They haven't had anything too nasty in them, and it's just an enormous plastic container wrapped in a steel cage. And you can stack these on top of each other. But what we've got is we've got 3 side by side, and I've got the various hoses you need, which will connect all 3 together, so they in effect become one giant water storage container. And between the 3 of these, they should hold about 3,000 litres. And behind you in that sort of direction, we're planning to build a shed, and the water will run off the shed roof down there and then into these. So that's hopefully how we'll keep these things topped up. Now, using some pipe and some water levelling, we think we've got the heights right. The water butt in the polytunnel is raised off the ground ever so slightly, but there's also a slight decline in the ground from here down to there, which means the bottom of the water butt, or actually no, more importantly, the top of the water butt is ever so slightly, like 2 inches higher than here, which means even when these are chock full and at their highest level, hopefully if we've got it right, the water butt won't overflow. It'll be a couple of inches off the top, and that means also approximately the water butt is give or take the same sort of height as this, so we shouldn't ever run out of water until this is pretty exhausted as well. I don't actually know yet how much the irrigation system uses, but 3,000 litres ought to keep us going throughout some of the driest spells. That's the idea anyway. There are likely to be 1 or 2 problems along the way. I'm not quite sure how frost resistant all of the piping is. We've gone for that blue piping that you usually use to transmit water around, even water supply to your house or whatever. But that would normally be, first of all, buried, I think it's over 750 mil deep in the soil, which we're not going to dig that deep. But also that would normally only come up inside your house, whereas of course this is going to come up outside. So Frostproofing is only going to go so far, and we're likely to have to potentially even empty this thing over the coldest months.
This is deep.
Hi everybody, time for another quick update on the Polytunnel irrigation system. It's a bit windy outside today, so hopefully you can hear me alright. June has started, which seems that in the UK at least, summer has stopped. But we've been making quite good progress, and I'd like to walk you through what we've done so far. So first of all, this is the irrigation system we've set up. This is the Irrigatia C60. It's powered both by a solar panel, which I've mounted on a bracket outside the polytunnel, and also if we look inside, in this bit here is a set of rechargeable batteries. There's also a dial there for adjusting the water rate. I think it's the charge rate actually. And then there's quite a lot of tubes, to be honest. So the first tube is this one here. This is it takes the water from the top of the water butt and down to the pump at the bottom of the irrigation unit, and then it pumps it up here and then along the top, and then this one actually goes straight back into the water butt. There's a tap here which allows you to adjust the amount of water that flows straight back into the water butt. And what this is effectively the path of least resistance. So ordinarily the water, if you just open this on full, the water would probably just go straight back into the water butt. And by dialing this down slightly, you can force water through the pipes, and this allows you to adjust the amount of water that goes around the irrigation system. And then down below here we've got 1, 2, and then 3. There's a tap further on for that one. Each one of these goes to one of the vegetable beds, and obviously then irrigates it. So for each of the beds we've got this microporous hose running up and down the length. You can see we've got lots of stuff growing now, particularly over here where we've got lots of lettuce, and the seep hose, while the pump's running, just leaks out a little bit of water down near the roots of the plants, and it seems to work very well. So for the water butt itself, I've finished building, or mostly finished building, this little workbench, and that obviously is a useful platform for doing work on, but also contains the water butt and stops it from getting knocked over by optimistic, enthusiastic children. And I've built a little stand for it at the bottom underneath. I've added an additional tap, which means we can connect a hose directly to the water butt if we feel like it. And then underneath it, there's a tap which I've drilled a hole in the bottom, and that leads directly to the pipe, which then leads underground through our little channel over to the IBC containers. So here's the pipe that comes from the water butt, from the polytunnel, and then connects all 3 of the IBC together. In my enthusiasm, I made sure I got valves for each of the connectors, forgetting that each of the IBCs has got their own valve on it, so we've got 2 valves per thing, which is stupid, but never mind. I've already the bits now and you can't rearrange them. But yeah, it seems to work. We've got this massive capacity of water, which will hopefully keep our plants in the polytunnel fed and watered. Hi, and welcome back to the last update for the irrigation build part of our polytunnel. As you can see behind me, things are really starting to take off. It's obviously a few weeks since we installed the irrigation system, and loads of plants are really doing well. So I guess what have we learnt? Well, it was okay. The system we came up with works. The external big containers are doing a great job. Keeping the water butt topped up. Haven't yet built the shed. That's going to be a little while, so we are still topping them up by hand, which is a bit awkward, but it lasts weeks and weeks and weeks, so that's really good. I guess one question that some people might want to know is, would we recommend Irrigatia? The answer to that is maybe. It's pretty good. I wouldn't have said it was perfect, certainly. Actually, I think perhaps they were unfortunate in that the support we got from First Tunnels, the Polytunnel builder, was really first rate. I was genuinely really impressed with First Tunnels, and the customer support with Irrigatia wasn't terrible. It just, by comparison with First Tunnels, wasn't so good. But the unit seems quite good. Once I'd figured it out, I think the instructions are a bit lacking in a couple of places, which is a bit awkward. But it does seem to work. So if you're happy to get around some of the instructions, and you can, you're fairly practical, you can work a few things out, then go for it. So my next job here in the Polytunnel is to build these ladders. You can see that they go up and across, and the idea of these is to support these melon plants and basically any other climbing plant that we choose to stick here in future. They're quite neatly done, I think. They're attached using some P-clips, which is part of its spare parts basically from the Polytunnel manufacturer. So the P-clips are attached both here at the top, and if we go down, also we've used to attach to the what would be the staging parts. It's a bit of a misuse of both the staging and possibly the P-clips, but it does a really good job, and they're really sturdy. So if we get some really heavy fruit on this at a later date, they'll just be, yeah, absolutely solid. So I've got a little bit more work to do on these. We'll do a bit more on the far side, and I might do a bit over here, and then job done. But anyway, that's it for this video, and hope to see you for the next one. Cheerio!